It's time for Friday Family Story Time with me, Miss Stephanie. It's good to see you, everybody. So let's get reading. But before we do that, let's warm up our hands. Shake them out. We're going to wave to each other. Are you ready? We wave hello like this. We wave hello like this. With all our friends at story time, we wave hello like this. Hello. It's so good to see you. I've picked out some really fun books to read with you today. One of them is called The Twin Dogs. Look how cute they are. By Chihiro Inui. They were like tug of war. My dog loves to play tug of war. Meet the twin dogs. They don't know who was born first, so they always argue about which of them is the eldest. But when they are not arguing, there are lots of things they like to do together. Taking their parents for a walk, drinking milk for breakfast, playing catch, and making a mess. This was a very happy life until one day when everything changed. The parents brought home a new and very, very loud creature to the house. Can you guys guess what it is? Suddenly, they had to take strangers out for a walk. There was no milk for breakfast. Worst of all, playing catch was banned. Shh! The twin dogs were not happy. Not happy at all. Slam! It's all because of that noisy creature, they said. Excuse me. It's getting all the attention. We want our milk. And we want to take our parents on a walk. So the twin dogs started to hatch a plan. First, they would sneak out while their parents were resting. They were always so sleepy these days. Next, they would create a huge mess and make them think that the creature had done it. The creature would get into trouble, and then everything would return to normal. That sounds like a plan two dogs would make. They waited and waited until they saw their chance. Quick, they've fallen asleep, they said to each other, and sneaked into the creature's bedroom. Oh, can you guess now? If you hadn't guessed already, I think you can guess now. It was very quiet, and they could see something stirring in the cot. Another word for that little bed there, crib. Come on, let's do it, they shouted. And they started to make the biggest mess they possibly could. They were very pleased with themselves. Look at them, they look so happy. Now all that was left to do was to plant the evidence. They climbed up to the cot, and there it was. The creature. The baby. It was so little. It actually looked quite sweet. But then it opened its tiny mouth and let out the loudest noise. Blah! Shh, shh, said the twin dogs. Our parents will know we made the mess if the noise wakes them up. They gently tried to calm the creature in the best way they knew. Lick, 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 lick. It seemed to be working. The tiny creature yawned and began to look sleepy. Phew, that was close, sighed the twin dogs. But then the twin dogs also began to yawn and started to feel very sleepy themselves. In the other room, the parents had woken up. Oh, look what time it is. We must have nodded off. It's so quiet. Where are the twin dogs? They asked each other. What on earth has happened here? Look at this mess. But before the parents could get too cross, they looked into the cot, and what did they find? Oh, look at them. How sweet. See, I told you they would get along. We should have introduced them to each other earlier, don't you think? They all fell asleep. The parents were so pleased that they forgot to be cross and said, "We don't know what happened here, but thank you for taking care of the baby. We're sorry if you've been feeling left out. You're such good dogs." The twin dogs were now very happy to share their parents with the baby. We didn't have any reason to be jealous, they said. Our parents love us just as much as before, and now we all have more love to share. That's cute. And that is how the twin dogs, who could never agree which was the eldest, became the very best big brothers. And that's the end. Cute, cute. Did you like that? There they are on the back, on the end pages now with the baby. On the front, it was just them. Very cute. All right, friends, let's see. Here's another story about a dog. It's called Benny Wants a Haircut, and it's written by Judith Coppins and illustrated by Marja Meyer. Meyer, maybe. Sorry, I mispronounced that. All right, Benny Wants a Haircut. This looks really cute. Sam takes a look in the mirror. Wow, Benny, she says, my hair is getting so long I can hardly see. I really need a haircut. So Benny and Sam walk to the hair salon. There it is. Chez Pierre. Hi, Sam, says Pierre. What can I do for you today? My hair is too long, says Sam. Can you give me a haircut? Of course, answers Pierre, if you don't mind waiting for a few minutes. Can Benny wait with me? asks Sam. Pierre takes a look at Benny with his eyebrows raised, but with a smile. But then a smile appears on his face. Sure, he says, you can wait together. I like Benny's little mustache. Can you see it? Here are some magazines you can read while you wait, Pierre tells Sam, and she and Benny sit on the couch. But Sam doesn't need to read a magazine. There is so much to look at. There's a woman with a big helmet over her head, and another woman has funny curlers in has funny curlers in her hair. Before long, Pierre walks over to Sam and Benny. You can come with me, he says to Sam. First, we'll wash your hair. Sam leans back and Pierre puts shampoo in her hair. Says Sam, that smells good. Benny thinks it smells good too. Pierre wraps Sam's head in a towel. Now you can climb into the chair, he says. And he puts a pink cape around her. Snip, 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 Pierre begins to trim Sam's hair. Woof, Benny starts to bark. Shh, Benny, Sam says. It's all right, it doesn't hurt when Pierre cuts my hair. But Benny just barks louder. He starts to run in circles around Sam and Pierre. Sam picks up Benny. I think he's scared, Sam says. Pierre takes a look at Benny. I don't think he's scared, Pierre says. I think Benny wants a haircut too. Says Sam. Maybe you're right. She taps the chair. Climb on up, she says to Benny. Now Benny gets a pink cape of his own. Pierre spins the chair toward the mirror and snips a little here and a little there. Then he uses the blow dryer. The whole time, Benny sits quietly. When Benny is done, Sam climbs back in the chair to finish her haircut. I want to see what Benny looks like. Bye, Pierre. Sam calls as she and Benny walk home. Benny is holding his head high. You are such a brave dog, Sam says to Benny, and such a handsome dog, too. Now his mustache is curled. That's pretty cute. Well, I do know a song about a dog. Should we sing it? It's called Bingo. And it goes like this. Every time we sing it again, we're going to clap for one of the letters until we're clapping all the letters. Are you ready? There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. So this time when we sing it, we're going to clap instead of saying B. Are you ready? There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Okay, next one we're gonna clap 2 times. There was a farmer who had a dog and Bingo was his name-o. N-G-O, N-G-O, N-G-O and Bingo was his name-o. There was a farmer who had a dog and Bingo was his name-o. G-O, G-O, G-O and Bingo was his name-o. There was a farmer who had a dog and Bingo was his name-o. O, O, O and Bingo was his name-o. We're going to clap the whole word this time. There was a farmer who had a dog and Bingo was his name-o. And Bingo was his name-o. Very good. Good singing. All right, should we have another book? This book doesn't have a dog in it, but it does have a worm. It's called Toto's Apple. This is Toto. This is the apple. The apple is up high. Toto is down low. A bird flies by. Toto has an idea. Toto gets busy. He's making something. Toto waits. Toto climbs on. Toto, takes off and lands in the wrong tree. Toto is here, the apple is over there. A squirrel approaches. Toto has an idea. Toto gets busy. Toto waits. Toto hangs on tight. Toto dashes off to the top of the tree. What do you think will happen next? Toto is up high. The apple is down low. A leaf falls down. Toto has an idea. Toto gets busy. Can you tell what he's painting now? Toto hesitates. Toto takes the plunge. The apple is up high. Toto is down low. Dee Dee arrives. Toto hides. Dee Dee munches the apple. Toto is devastated. Toto wanted that apple. A plane flies by. Dee Dee drops the apple. Toto knows that it's now or never. Dee Dee grabs the apple and swallows Toto. Ah! The apple is inside Toto. The apple is inside. So is Toto. Toto is happy. That's what he wanted all along. It's so silly, you guys. All right. We have one more book. And it is called Izzy Gizmo by Pip Jones and Sarah Ogilvie. Izzy Gizmo is a girl who loved to invent. Carried her tool bag wherever she went in case she discovered a thing to be mended or a gadget to tweak to make it more splendid. But the trouble with things that have dials and switches is they don't always work. They have certain glitches. The T-Mendus, for instance, did such a fine job till out popped a piston and off dropped a knob. Then the swirly Spagsonic for eating spaghetti turned Grandpa's wallpaper into confetti. It shredded the wallpaper. Ouch. The Beardtastic had Grandpa near perfectly styled till the foam overflowed and the clippers went wild. Well, Isabel, who was so clever and bright, would get rather cross when things didn't go right, and she huffed, "It's too tough. I've had it. I quit." She kicked her invention and called it a twit. Isabel fumed. Grandpa smiled and chuckled. "You can't just quit 'cause that thingy bob buckled. Now trust me, young lady, sometimes you need to try again and again if you want to succeed." Perhaps Grandpa was right, but still Isabel sighed. She picked up her tool bag and wandered outside. Kicking the stones on the path as she walked, Izzy jumped at a bump up ahead. Something squawked. From the clouds, a poor crow had taken a tumble and landed kapoof in a feathery jumble. Izzy ran to the vet's, but he just shook his head. "His wing is too broken to fix," the doc said. "Perhaps take him home, and there you could try to teach him to live as a crow who can't fly." Day after day, Izzy thought she had found something fun for her crow to do on the ground, like digging for worms and racing the slugs, hopscotch and hoopla, and searching for bugs. But the heartbroken crow simply gazed at the sky as the other birds sang and flew happily by. One night, with the crow in the folds of her sweater, Izzy sighed. "Oh, I wish I could make him feel better. I've tried. He won't play. He won't drink. He won't eat." She was so very close to admitting defeat. Grandpa said, "Izzy, don't give up on him now. I know you can do it. Just work out how." Then Grandpa passed Izzy her gadgety things, and she knew what to do. "I'll invent some new wings." Then she made a long, Izzy piled up her books and she started to read. Then she made a long list of the things she would need. She searched for some batteries and old electronics, dismantled a mixer and the swirly Spagsonic. The crow watched entranced, and he held Izzy's drill while she bent, bashed, and battered and walloped until... Ta-da! Izzy fastened the wings with a strap, but they hummed and twitched, far too heavy to flap. "Ah!" Izzy yelled. "I'm no good at succeeding." The crow softly cawed, his beady eyes pleading. "What now?" Izzy cried. "Try again," Grandpa said. "Okay, follow me." And with that, off she sped. Izzy dove in a pond where she borrowed a pump. Then she took from an engine 2 sprockets, a sump. Izzy fastened the wings. They were light, they were curvy, but the wings, the wrong shape, turned the crow topsy-turvy. They went upside down. "I give up!" Izzy yelled with a furious frown. The crow sadly cawed as he hung upside down. Izzy unscrewed the head from the shower, found special circuits to adjust the wing's power, and finally, using her trusty old pliers, she borrowed the motors from 2 big blow dryers from the hair salon. Am I skipping a page? "Yes," Izzy said. "The right shape, perfect weight, but one wing flapped madly. The crow couldn't fly straight. I've had it!" Izzy headed straight for a bin, but the crow blocked her path. He just wouldn't give in. He really wants wings. There she is. Izzy twizzled and tinkered, and using his beak, the tip-tapping crow gave the screws a good tweak. Then he loosened the cog from Grandpa's old mixer. You can fly, Izzy cried. Oh, your name should be Fixer. And after 2 loop-the-loops, Fixer came into land and stood happily cawing upon Izzy's hand. You tried very hard, Grandpa said, and succeeded. You kept at it, Izzy. You did what was needed. But don't pack your tools up. Your day's not quite ended. A few things around here now need to be mended. All the things she took parts from. That's pretty funny. I like that book. It's good. I hope you liked it too. And I hope I'll see you again next week for more stories. Take care, friends. Bye.